so The Chain by Fleetwood Mac, this was off of the Rumors album, and it also sort of had a rebirth when they issued it on The Dance, which was the live version. Okay, so on the studio version, it's in double drop D with this capo on the 2nd fret. I'll put the tuning down there, but what you do is just take your capo off, tune your E string down to a D, tune your high E string down to a D also, because double drop D, right? Put your capo back on the 2nd fret, and you're good to go. Now, the Dance version, there's no capo, and I'm pretty sure it's just drop D. Like, he doesn't drop that high E down. But for my sort of version of it, I've done it in the same key as the Rumors version, okay? So, capo on the 2nd, double drop D. All right, so what I did is I just took parts from both versions, the live version and the album version, and sort of mixed and matched them, right? Anyways, there's a lot of licks to get to, so let's get into it. We're going to start out with this chord here. And in this tuning, that's a D9 chord. It's like a D7 shape, right? It's a D9 chord. And we're going to go. All right, and the whole thing, you've got to think that. Travis pick, low D, open D. Right, that's the basis of the whole thing. So up close, that's going to be, your fingers are G, B, G, E, while you keep the Travis going. And then the Travis kind of drops out, right? And then the next lick will be just hammering on that D note on B3. And then that again. And now if you keep on going with that Rumors version, he just mucks around with that. He just does a whole bunch of little variations on that. But then what I did is I went right into this. And that's from the live version, right? So what we've got there is we've got that going. And we're going to go. That's the 5th fret of the G. Put a little, just a little squeeze on that. To the D note on B3. Do that a couple of times, and then we've got this lick. Okay, so it's a pre-bend on E5, and then 3, 3 on the E and B, and then, right? So, but the whole time we gotta do that. And that can get really tricky. So that whole bit there. Okay, and then we kind of get into this main sort of riff. And that there's a lot of different ways you can play that, but this is what I think he's doing there. So it's so when he pulls off that A3, you're gonna play that G string at the same time. Okay, and to me that's really key. You could just go. Sounds great, but if you add that G string, it just adds a little extra. And what I did on that last note, I'm hitting, because your Travis pick with your thumb just naturally leads you to that open D, but I'm also hitting the open D with my 3rd finger on the high E string. So all together I'm going. And that's just, right? Just, what is it? D3, D2, open, A3, and then a little bend on E3. And as far as fingers go, I hit that A3 with my first finger, but you could go whatever way works for you. And then the singing starts. And that first lick is, so when we bend that A3, again, we're going to hit that G note, or the G string. And double up the D's again, right? Open D string and high D string. And I'm actually hitting the G string there too on that last chord. And you know, we keep that Travis going, so listen to the wind blow, and then that is, we're gonna get E5, and we're gonna bar here on the B string and the E string, but put a little finger up here on the 5th fret, and we keep that going. And the Travis sort of stops there on the album, right? And then we're going to come up here, and that's going to be E10 and B10 and G9. And you can clearly hear that little click there, because in my opinion, he's hitting that muted A string there. And that's your figure there. With your thumb. And then that slides down 2 frets. And then we're going to go. And that's, it's the B string and the G string. And then the open high D string. Then we take our first finger off, and we hit that open G, and our Travis pick, naturally leads us to that D string. And then we're going to go. Okay, and that is a very cool lick. So what we're doing there is we're going. So it's E string, G string, and then both D's there, the D on the B and the open D, and then 3rd finger on that open high D. And when we hit that bend on A3, we're going to also hit that D note on B3. Ending on that G string. And then that last chord, which would be the D, the G, and the high D. Right? Kind of confusing. Like that. Okay, so that whole bit. Up to speed. All right, and now we just repeat. And we keep the Travis picking going in this verse. And now we're just going to go back up here, but we're going to go. So it's the same picking on both patterns. So. And then we're going to finish off with this. Okay, so it's right, the basic Travis, and so like I use my little finger there on that high E3. Whoops. And while you keep the thumb going. Okay, so that second part is okay, and then we get into the chorus, and that's going to be just this chord here. Like in the live version, he'll just do that, just bar there, and just kind of chunk on that. And because he's not in double drop D, he'll go B flat to C, right? Just bar chords. But on the album version, I'm pretty sure he's using these chords, so that's going to be G5 and B3. We're muting that A string. And then to this D, right, with the open string there. And then we're going to play this. It's like a G minor with the third in the bass, the B flat in the bass. Right, just those two strings, A1 and B3. And then C add 9, which is just there and there, but you know, with your third and your little finger. And then back to that. Okay, and that's the end of the first section. And, you know, that was that. Yeah, that's sort of more the album version. Now, this next verse is going to be the live version, okay? So he's going to... That's all the same, but now we're going to go... So we're going to hold that C note there. And our Travis is going to be going A string, D string. Ending up on that open string. Then you could go... bend it, but I went. Okay, so right. Okay. And then we've got that lick, so. That is, so we've got the D string, G string, B string, and then when we pull off that D3, we're also going to hit the D note on G3. So, okay, and then it repeats. So that second note is just a bit different. This is all the same. Just go, just a bend, E3, open, and then open D, and then the lick, right? And then that leads us into twice. And then we get into this bit. Okay, so we're just going to play that D without the middle finger. We're going to put our little finger there on a G3. And then we do this lick. So it's just an arpeggio backwards from the E string, B string, G string. And the second time we take the little finger off. So. And then we do it again. There's no fill there, right? And then we just repeat it. Okay, and then in my version, I just went back to the beginning and just ended it with right. But of course, you know, the actual song after we come out of that, sort of dies down, and we've got that bass lick, right? Which in this tuning would be E5, open A, and the chords there would just be like the G, and then that G minor with the third and the bass. And then you could just go to that D. So you'd be. You could also go. Put that G in there in the second half. And that would just repeats over and over, right? So that's it. There's a lot of stuff to this song, and that's just scratching the surface, really, because in the Rumors version, he plays a lot of other licks, and in the live version, he plays a lot of other licks, too. But this will give you a good grounding and, you know, getting used to adding those extra notes. You know, my favorite lick is... so good. It sounds so full, right? Anyways, I hope you get something out of this. It's a little more complicated than you know, your basic strumming type songs, but and also I would really highly recommend getting the tab, because that'll probably help you clear up some of the more intricate parts. All right, like I always say, I hope you get something out of it. I hope you enjoy playing it, and make sure you subscribe to the channel. Press the little bell thing to notify you when I have new videos. And yeah, we'll talk to you next time.